Ну, блядь, кто там еще? Так похуй. Блядь. Да даже если сам главный герой Денджи сдохнет, вообще поебать будет на него. Потому что сам аниме человек дрель, блядь. Если бы не боевка Аки и наставник, блядь, это было бы просто уебищное аниме. Неинтересный главный герой, блядь. Типа, неинтересный... Типа, загадочная Макима, которая там что-то... Ну, типа, она загадочная. Так похуй на нее, блядь. Просто поебать на эту Макиму. Блядь. Просто аниме неинтересное. И все. Начиная смена, блядь. Суть не в том, что, блядь, начиная смена, а суть в том, что я 6-й левел, а противники, блядь, 16-18. Как срать нахуй? Так, а чё там у чуваков по болезням? Берем утомление. Этому стало лучше. Простуда. Неизвестно. Не сепсис. Блять, не хватает кодейна. Хотя... Блять, надо было скрафтить. Пока так, на всякий случай лесы какого-нибудь.
It's locked.
А, с ним поговорить нельзя. А где этот дурачок, блядь? Вот он.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed, still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
Ага.
Only the strongest survive, then? Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
The police may be slow, but they will find you eventually.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah, Doc, I figure you have something to hide so you can't ask the coppers for help.
How long do you think you can
I know
the police?
Well, how come...
Подсказка не сработала.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now.
Ну, чел, я вампир, да. Я тебя разъебу, если что. Не знаю, вот я, может быть, его и разъебу, кстати. Его, может быть, я и поглощу. Ну, пойдем посмотрим, что от меня хотят. По сюжетке пойдем. А, вообще, пойдем к пиздюку. Он же ведь поправился.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want...
I have to go now.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Болезнь. Заболевание снижает качество крови. Горожан снабжать их соответствующими лекарствами, поговорить с пациентом рядом с Дорот и узнать его состояние здоровья. Но это пока он на восстановлении. Но опыта ебать не дохуя дают. Я вообще в ахуе. 3000, блядь.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
О, а я что, с ней не разговаривал разве?
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
I'll see you later, Nurse.
Так, пойдем разберемся. Избавьте кровь горожан дает много опыта. Ищите тех, чей уровень гипноза меньше или равен вашему, но обязательно обдумайте свои решения. Да не буду я хавать. Вот, блять, игра так и хочет, чтобы я кого-то захавал. Мне через второй этаж идти.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Так. Мне дали квест с этим, с моргом, и куда он исчез? Ладно.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, Your Ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Вот это, видимо, и есть Харднет. Да.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. Can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
Найдите мне сестру Пипи Хукинс.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Ебать, кот мне... Вот он мужичок.
Sir, I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is... nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
No one is here. Relax. Don't worry, we're safe.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I ought to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Ага. Так, и что же там, блять, мы сейчас найдем? Вампур. Канализация еще даже есть. Топ доктор Крейн. Ага.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Так. Им насрать на пуле. Блять. Я же успел ударить. Но это на клаустрофобии. Так, выйти из канализации. Блять, а как перезарядиться? Это есть тот чел, которого
Are
потеряли?
you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Один патрончик. Образец упал. Я посоветовал членам нашего клуба с большой осторожностью относиться к этим так названным ученым. Да, большинство относятся к нам дружелюбно, с уважением, но для членов такого закрытого клуба, как Аскалон, было бы крайне немного говорить о наших целях, наших товарищах и наших традициях. Я бы также хотел напомнить о том, что наше братство достаточно древнее, и у него довольно таинственная традиция. Одной из них, по сообщениям наших информаторов, может быть ритуал под названием «Изгнание дракона». Похоже, при определенных условиях члены братства Святого Павла проводят этот ритуал, если находят агрессивного или кровожадного бессмертного. В чем именно он заключается, не знаю. Существует ли в самом деле? В этом я тоже не уверен. Но мне удалось установить следующее. Каждый представляющий угрозу для Лондона вампир бесследно исчезал после того, как братство проводило против него ритуал изгнания. Там Фергал Банша был достаточно умен, чтобы не бросать вызов братству. Этот урок должен запомнить каждый из нас. Нельзя допускать, чтобы братство объявило тебя драконом. Закон Асклона, лорд Редгрифс. Ощущение, что тут намечается босс-файт.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ага, тут закрыто. По-моему, чудовище. Ой, блядь! Обратясь разбавленной густой кровью. Ох! Ох, какая жопка-то, блядь. Ох, вот это жопка.
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
Если вы больны и у вас нет денег, неважно кто вы, неважно откуда, обратитесь за помощью к Дороте. Никакого обмана, никакой платы, просто найдите дом Даурса. Петреску, покажите ему этот.
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her. This is despicable.
Кыс.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Так.
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off this time.
Состояние тяжелое. Охуенчик. Блять. Окей. Как скажете. Да ты заебал, блядь, олень. А вот он, по-моему, в эту хату заходил. А может и нет, я не помню. Да, я в эту хату заходил. Блять, тут противники охуенные. Тут делаешь 2 удара, чувак уже из стана выходит и хочет дать тебе пизды, блять. Охуенчик, блять. Просто с 2 ударов ваншотнули. Вот как проходить побочки, когда чуваки высокого уровня? Ну чё за бред, блять? Не, ну ты проходи побочки, ты подумаешь, чуваки высокого левела. Пиздато, блять. Очень умно придумали разрабы. Ну, блять, я сейчас ливну нахуй с этой игры. Как в нее играть, когда все мобы высокого уровня, блять, они все 10-го. Ты, блять, 6-го, они все 10-го, 12-го. Как в это играть, блять? Пиздец, такой бред, блять. Ебать копать. Ну заебал, блядь. А еще при этом огнестрела не боятся, блядь. Просто круто. Ты заебал, алё, блядь. Хуесос, блядь.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fella.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Блять.
Not me.
Это кто?
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse...
Never heard.
Goodbye, young.
Так, решить, как поступить с запиской вербовщика. Решите Альберта.
I'm not your...
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
Me? I'll not die in some piss stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lad away.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Мигрень.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
A gun up.
Так, тут где-то есть этот... Опа, мадам какая-то.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
I'd like to see what kind.
Она продает. Так, я же могу посмотреть, что я могу крафтить? Не могу, мне нужно...
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Блять, куда я зашел? Я хотел найти убежище, блять, я зашел в какую-то хуйню. Или это еще убежище? Я на убежище нихуя не похоже, блять. Лицо под сигар. А, нет, убежище. Так, сепсис, пневмония, бронхит, простуда. Блять, а я не могу его лечить? От мигрени у меня нету. Так. Сейчас, секунду, я что хотел. Ох. Ну, прокачаемся. Чё нам, блядь? Восьмой левел. О, 8 левел, но требуется 2000. Вот кровавый барьер я 100% возьму. Следующей ночью. Каждую ночь вы своим действием улучшаете ухудшение состояния района. Состояние также можно ухудшить из-за распространения болезней. Если состояние здоровья жителей района окажется ниже критического уровня, погрузится в хаос. Ну, тяжелое. Ну, стабильное, потому что... Блять, вот мне нужно найти от мигрени, средства от мигрени. От простуды у меня есть, сейчас только этого дебила найти. Здоровье. Головная боль. Блять, а у меня нету. А вот у мадам точно нету хуйни от мигрени, блять.
This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Крыска! Сдай.
This is despicable. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Сейчас я только полутаюсь. Ты же не против, если я полутаюсь?
It's locked, all right.
Если вы заподозрили кого-то в том, что он вампир, не предпринимайте самостоятельных попыток его убить. У вас нет шансов. Вместо того, обратитесь ко мне или постарайтесь найти профессиональных убийц вампиров. Их мало, но они знают, как справиться с этими жуткими существами. Часть из них, похоже, действует вместе под именем Стражи Привена. Это полувоенная организация, цель которой очистить Лондон от вампиров. Они ваши друзья. Вы не одни. У вас есть вариант. Действуйте с умом. Расскажите об этом другим. Ларенс, Кросс, из дополнительной информации, обращайтесь напрямую ко мне. Мистер Питерсон, мой долг сообщить о том, что ваша просьба принять вас на работу в духе была отклонена. Я благодарен вам за то, что вы потратили время, объясняя сложность вашей ситуации. Рассказали о том, что у вас больный сын и что умерла ваша дорогая жена. Но мой долг состоит также в том, чтобы разъяснить правила нашей компании, а они явно запрещают брать на работу бывших преступников и осужденных. Ваши связи о скандале, известным мокрыми ботинками, не укрылись от вашего внимания. Сейчас тяжелые времена, сэр, и компания Финч Харпер, наверное, прежде всего вознаградить кандидатов, прошедших небольшую проверку, которую мы устраиваем искателям. От вашей души сочувствую вам, да не оставит Бог вашу семью.
It's locked.
Ну рассказывай.
May I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Переутомление у него.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Блять, лежит довольный.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Так. У него переутомление. Что у этих?
Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Здоров.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Типа они стали упырями.
Right then.
Так, что у тебя есть, говно?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
У меня со зрением все хорошо.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now. And people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak. And there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else. Whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Так, сейчас надо у сына похилять.
You again?
Goodbye.
Переутомление. Пойдем к Кату, сейчас создадим микстурку от переутомления. Пойдем похиляем парня. Молодого похиляем.
Good evening, Harry.
Sure. Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
So,
I'm not
your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Goodbye, young.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
Так. Ничем не болеет. Этот на лечение, у этого мигрень, у этого простуда. Ну я хуй знаю, где он находится. Опа. Новые людишки.
What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Так, и тут еще священник стоит. Так, это пусть лечится. Говорим со священником.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance.
Communism.
That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean?
All science.
Quite a...
But you...
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Science and progress are our only hope against the monstrosity hidden behind this epidemic.
See, Doctor? Now you acknowledge the presence of evil within the city's walls. Now you start to admit the truth.
Alright, да иди ты нахуй.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, what do
you...
I have heard enough.
Я с ним не договорил, блядь.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard an...
Поехавший священник. Ничего не скажешь. Так. Тут есть квесты новые. Это лечится, этот лечится. Более-менее. О! Вот он.
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity.
Вы знаете, не ради награды. Хочу награду.
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane, bless her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I'm no saint, but to take advantage as you do, you are a despicable man who could only prosper in these dark times.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swamborough shit.
It's unusual to see someone so happy around here.
Ну, можно убить нахуй.
Especially considering the current situation.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
What is your business, exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
You obviously place yourself above the misery of Whitechapel, but you are as repellent an individual as I have ever met.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world. Things ain't just black and white, you know.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the increasing violence in London?
People are just beginning to discover what we've always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
I'm looking for Dorothy. Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is one thing, but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
Since I took an oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds. Take this, in any case.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
Goodbye, Mr.
Так, ну вот его можно реально ебануть. Типа... Он, блядь, с него, конечно, 1000 опыта всего лишь. И можно и не въебывать его.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Закрыто.
There's no one in.
Бронхит у него.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I cannot enter. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church, they just mentioned.
Так, разъебал. Образец разбавленной чистой крови. Так, у меня кончились патронысы. Пунцовая пластина. Заберите коробку, блядь. А где эта коробка?
No, steady, boys. We've got one of them. Ugh. I'll send you to hell. I'll kill you. Take its head. You leave.
Ну так я понял, где-то находится сверху, блядь. А, еще выше.
This could be the box. A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Я должен решить, кому отдать коробку, блядь. Бенджамину Палмер. Гарри Петерсон. Джо Петерсон. Ну, я дам коробку, наверное, Джо, потому что у него типа сын и... Вот, только из-за этого, что типа у него есть сынуля.
You... I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Да он, наверное.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Блять, у меня тоже переутомление.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He never...
No.
Really?
He went...
Goodbye, Mr.
Так. Блять, надо идти опять хилку делать. Ёб твою мать. Как они меня заебали. О, крыски.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Крыски. Ну жри, блядь, ебло тупое.
This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
Пойдем журналиста вылечим.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Так, что у нас? Почтовый ящик. Не пришел пакет, в котором спрятан купон на бесплатный медосмотр. Кстати.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
А,
I know
ну,
what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
а, говорить не умеет.
Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well.
Доебался до бедной немой женщины, блядь, которая говорить не может. Многие дорого говорящие любимые дети. Мне так жаль, что у вас несколько месяцев не было вести от меня в Лондоне. Сложная ситуация. Я знаю, что я могу показать эгоистичным дураком вам. Мои дети ведь все еще живут в стране, где ведет война. Но здесь в Англии тоже идет война. Война с бедностью и несправедливостью. Это война, в которой она мирой участвует, несмотря на свой преклонный возраст. Вот почему я напишу вам сегодня. В Румынию не вернусь. Это означает, что, вероятно, я вас больше не увижу. Не грустите, мои милые, ведь вы уже взрослые, у вас свои дети. Вы знаете, на какие жертвы нужно идти, чтобы изменить мир. Вот жертву, которую должен принести я, чтобы снова почувствовать себя ненужным. Желаю вам жить долго и счастливо. Поцелуйте от меня моих внуков и помните, Крис любит вас, даже когда находится в этой холодной стране.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
It's locked, all right.
You are blinded by your
А то с этой стороны могу открыть. Блять, я же успел выстрелить. Куча Поттера, блять. Да ты заебал, блять, ебалай, блять. Сид, блять, махает руками без остановки. Просто, блять. Мы придумали врагов, которые стоят, просто бьют руками. Я думаю, что это гениально. Вы, парни, заебись гуляться на кладбище. Уважаемый мистер Нитеркот, спасибо, что представляю ваш сборник стихов песни сломленного города. Мы нашли его интересным, это же мы вам ответили первый раз, когда его получили, но вы должны понять, что В это страшное время для нашей страны публикация данной книги была бы совершенно неуместной. И поскольку вы отказываетесь менять название и требуете, чтобы работу напечатали либо в полном объеме, либо вообще не опубликовали, то мы решили выбрать второй вариант. Слушаем пожеланиями. Давай попиздим.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Как скажешь.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives?
whom she may know.
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Круто.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Круто. Ну, я все о нем открыл. Оттуда это мигрень.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Ага. Понятно.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
Да не за что, давай, ЛББ, спишешься ВКонтакте.
This is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in. Hello.
Tell me about Richard Nethercote. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Very well.
Что ж там можешь сказать? Ничего. Она молчит. Кристина Попа. На восстановление. Ничего не болеет. Молодой, запускай.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Да, конечно, не пожалеешь, молодой. Но знаешь, о чем ты пожалеешь? Что, если у тебя тут есть лут... И. Он мой. Ай, я не лень читать, все, я расстроился.
It's locked, all right.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Tell me everything.
Вот этот лаг, что показывается, что там что-то еще есть о Камелии, на деле я уже все у него узнал.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you?
Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
Да. Так, тебе надо от бронхита. У меня как раз есть.
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor? It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr.
Дверь отперта и закрылась. Так, тут лутовая есть? Есть. Лутовая есть. Куда же без лутовой-то? Моя милая Доротея. Доротея. Когда ты прочитаешь это письмо, я уже буду на корабле, который отвезет Антона и меня обратно в Брасов. Англия не для нас, и если честно, я мечтаю поскорее увидеть гордые холмы Трансильвании. Когда вернемся, поставлю свечку в черной церкви за то, чтобы ты пережила эту страшную эпидемию. Я знаю, ты не одобришь мои решения, ты твердо намерена помогать нашим товарищам. Ист Энди, но Антон мечтает вернуться на родину, видеть, как начнется долгожданная революция. Он мой муж и не покинет его. Мы с тобой часто спорили, ты хотела, чтобы я осталась с тобой, помогала в клинике. Но помни, если с тобой что-нибудь случится, если ты попадешь в беду, тебе будет грозить опасность, я непременно вернусь в Лондон, с Антоном или без него. Пожалуйста, вспоминай меня так же часто, как я буду вспоминать о тебе. Я же любящая твоя сестра, Теодора. Куда? Так. Мужик подождет. Да не, лутовая. Сначала полутаться. Блять.
Patient Raz Van Vasily, high fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain, diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort, liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Aspirin and salicin, you say? Why not some warm milk and a kiss on the cheek? Where are the quinine salts?
Tried buying, borrowing, even stealing. There's none to be found, Doctor.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Так, а я могу его спасти? Я хочу его спасти. Пошел. Нет, я хочу спасти молодого.
Hello, Mr. Patrick.
Hello.
Лутовая, блять.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running...
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. I need to perform a tracheostomy. Don't question me, nurse. I need a drain, now.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his...
I must. Good. A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
А, адреналин есть. Ну, видимо, нельзя спасти. Это, видимо, скрипт.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Yes, I know. You are true to your reputation, Dr. Reed. Dedicated and precise. No one could have done more.
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
test my bedside manners.
It's locked, all right.
Эх, лутовую нельзя полутать. Лутовую нельзя полутать. Полутать.
So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Посидите, закрою на это глаза, но вы пойдете вы забудете обо всем, что произошло.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Интервью с вампиром. Район пострадает в результате ваших действий. А схуяли он пострадает? Я же только...
It's locked.
А?
This one stinks already.
Ну чё еще молодые, а вы что тут забыли? Да, тут нет, блядь, быстрого телепорта. Пиздец, тут бежать придется. Ёпту.
Good evening.
I'd like...
Good.
Good.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
От мигрени мне нечем ему дать.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Crush the leech, boys! Die, vermin! That's what you do with leech.
Да, блять.
Crush the leech, boys! Die, vermin!
Ебать. 2 мини-боссика. Неплохо. Я их разъебал. О, лут.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Да ты заебал, блядь, боже, уёбок, блядь. Что-то их разъебал и не полутал, блядь.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Так, мне нужно найти молодого человека на кладбище, блядь. Чего другую бабу нашел?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
А, она здоровая.
Carnage. This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
По кровавым следам. Ебать общаются нахуй, пиздато, кстати, они. Тупо переговоры у них охуенные.
As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word. I have this thirst for blood.
Блять. Нехуй тут кричать, блядь. Истинник, отец Уотакер, такой праведный, в нем столько сострадания, любви тем, кто страдает. Его слово вот, потому что нужен городу. Сегодня вечером я дал ему все, что у меня есть. Мою силу, мою веру, мое богатство. А если это недостаточно, я знаю, где взять еще. Мы с отцом Уитакером пошли в заброшенный дом, рядом с церковью Святой Марии. Это было ужасное, зловенное место. Последним обитателям дома приходилось бороться с крысами. За право жить в полуразрушенных комнатах. Большинство этих людей больны. Ужасные запахи. На последнем этаже отец Уитакер нашел старика, который лежал на грязном матрасе и кашлял кровью в деревянную миску. Отец Уитакер Спустился на колени перед ним и долго молился. Кажется, после этого человеку стало лучше. Зачем мы помогли ему найти свет? Тогда я плакал и плачу сейчас. Когда пишу эти строки, ведь я никогда не видел, чтобы человек так радовался своему спасению. Отец все-таки красотой. Если не самоуверенность и не проявление греховной гордости, когда мне бы хотелось спасти столько же душ, сколько и он. Это настоящая честь быть свидетелем подобных чудес. 15 декабря. Сегодня вечером мы прошли в бордель, который находится у канала. Я должен признать, что боялся встречи с распутными женщинами, но оказалось, что эти здания давно заброшены. Где шлюхи, там и зараза, объяснил мне отец. Ютакер. Но клиенты быстро пугаются, если до них доходят слухи о болезнях. В последнем борделе мы нашли 2 больных женщин, которые спали вместе в греховной позе под грязными одеялами. Запах снова был ужасный. Эти запахи дьявола и болезни, объяснил отец Ютакер, затем встал на колени и стал молиться за эти 2 заблудшие души. Женщины были таким больными и слабыми, что не смогли пошевелиться, и когда я облил одеяло бензином, теперь их души очистили. Охуенно. Отец это красотой, и никому не позволили смеяться над ним. Он получит больше помощи и поддержки, но он и как все пророки одинок. Его последователи должны делать больше, ему нужна любовь и доказательство любви. Завтра отправлюсь на кладбище и добуду для него новые богатства. Мертвые не нуждаются в земных богатствах, а нам, собственно, таки нужно чем-то питаться. 20 октября. Сегодня вечером впервые пришел мой черед вести нас. Я решил вернуться туда, где были 10 дней назад. Проверить, есть ли там души, которые нужно освободить. Отец Ютакер одобрил мой выбор. Проповедник всегда в трудах, а сатана никогда не спит, объяснил он. Он также сказал, что если я буду дальше проявлять такое рвение, он станет поручать мне более важное задание. Скорее бы сегодня вечером еще 3 души были очищены от скверны. Если это не самоуверенность и не проявление греховной гордости, то я бы сказал ему на пути к величию. Понятно. Ебанутые. Хаваем крыс.
Blood. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Разъебан. Я могу это скрафтить. Мне нужна часть обычной рукояти. Ого, дубинка есть. Наушники садятся. Пук-пук-пук-пук. Пойдем поговорим с отцом Витакером, а потом нашей мадемуазелькой. Надо говорить со сом вытекера, на том, блядь, немножечко бабал квас, нахуй. Блядь, чуть не туда пошел. А, блядь, или сюда? Или не туда? Блядь, ебаный выход. Ах ты, сука, ебаный, блядь, бабл квас. Ах, это молодой заебал. Блядь. Вот и выход. Ебать, это молодой баба-квасер. Хуйня какая-то. Хуй знает, зачем я сюда летел, блядь. Наверх. Пойдем попиздим с проповедником, блядь. Он хуесос, оказывается. Знатный, кстати. У меня пока чё, ничего нету от мигрени.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith.
Protection against malaria.
Здорово, хуесос.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reed. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
What? You... Good evening.
It's
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
I have heard enough.
Задание завершено. Ой, надо суметку брать. В этой игре не хватает фаст-тревела. Пиздец, тут бежать как долбоёб туда-сюда, это... Блять. Такое удовольствие. Даже в сраном Dark Souls есть фаст-тревел. Его нет, ты просто бежишь. А ты тут просто бегаешь туда-сюда. Поэтому просто он впиздилка. Я всех нашел, да, людей?
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
I'd like...
Wise...
Так, мне нужно поговорить с леди Эшбери.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
Ну, короче, она была права.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
What prevails in the end, I wonder? The desire for blood, or to be of service to man?
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but... are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Scowl?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad?
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed. and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Ну, в принципе, все.
I bid you farewell. For now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Пойдем исследуем. Так, стоять. Я что-то видел сверкающее.
It's locked, all right. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Увеличить скорость исцеления вынос на 50%. На 100%. Вот это, кстати, заебись. Понятно, просто так еще проебал. Понял. Будем знать.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Skulls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Глава 3. Головная боль, а у меня пока нету. Косарь. Следующей ночью. Изменения Лачели. За последние несколько недель без вести пропали десятки людей. Здесь собираются в очередь, чтобы сообщить о полиции о таинственных снижениях. Подобное происходит по всей стране. Но в последние 24 часа подавляющее большинство обращений поступило в участок одного района, лондонского Уайт-Пипела. Презираемые и ненавидимые всеми Ист-Энд вновь оставлены на произвол судьбы. Несмотря на показательные бедствия властей, многочисленные местные жители все же доложили в ближайший полицейский участок о необъяснимых исчезновениях своих родственников и соседей. Что случилось с теми пропавшими? Где они? Единственное, что их связывает, тяжелое состояние здоровья и нужда в медицинской помощи. До недавнего времени местные получали ее секретной амбулатории, которую держали неизвестные добрые самаритяне. Теперь же она закрылась, а ее хозяева давно не дают о себе знать. Нашли ли исчезнувшую другую, более тщательно скрытую лечебницу, может быть, их тайно провели в официальную больницу. Ранее поздно комитету за страхование при Совете Лондонского графства придется ответить на эти вопросы. Тяжелая? Да, зря я ее загипнотизировал. Ух ты, ебать. Переутомление, 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 переутомление. Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6. Тяжелая. Хотя я, блядь, столько людей вылечил. Ну-ка. Раз, два, 3, 6. Все, надо будет пойти потом все это дать, блядь. Ну, это уже будет совсем другая история. Ну, игра немножко наебала. Я думал, что он просто ее загипнотизирует, чтобы она больше не шантажировала, и все. Ну, типа, пусть она работает, но просто не будет шантажировать. Событие. Произошло неизвестное событие. Надо будет сходить посмотреть потом. А тут оказывается, что я просто сам себе заруинил этот район. И он теперь немножечко тяжелый. А тут у нас стабильная. У нас все, блядь, утомились, нахуй. Вот мои, блядь, засранчики. Но проблема в том, что... Ой, я не знаю, как делать от головной боли, блядь. Есть информация, что я должен пойти в морг. Ключ от подвала морг. Старая сбирка подвала морг. Я должен пойти в морг. Там есть штука. Как я понял, что я могу найти, чтобы создавать от ну, от головной боли. Вот. Поэтому на следующем стриме мы пойдем в морг, на следующем стриме мы пойдем все разузнаем и вот так далее. Ну, там сейчас, короче, понятно. Гипноз лучше не юзать. Типа, как я понял, если ты юзаешь, он апается. Ну, на